Welcome back to another episode of SlickWorks, everybody. In this episode, I'm going to be painting the set of wheels for Chucky. Well, for Chucky, for the old Grand Prix, I have accumulated 3 steel wheels. 1, 2, 3. And they are all 14s, and they are all completely different offsets. Crazy. But in my pile of junk, I had this old one kicking around, and it's almost identical to that one. I believe it has the same offset, same lip, but we got some corrosion issues. Yeah, so I mean, super thick steel, so mostly surface rust. Obviously, I'm not too worried about the strength or anything like that, but I need to find a buddy with a sandblaster. So I was looking into quotes for tires for this Grand Prix, like Cooper Cobras or BFG TAs, you know, white leather tires, old school look. And they were quoting me like $300 a tire. So I got these big fat boys for $244 for wheels and tires. They're a steel wheel that's had 5 inches of lip added to them. And for $80, these good as new, no cracks, soft rubber, old school Wildcat 70 14-inch. These are bias plies. I got these for $80 for both of them, and they are supple. So those tires are probably like 20, 30 years old, but they're healthy. They were stored in proper conditions. I've seen guys run tires from like the 1930s, but if they're kept in a climate controlled garage, you know, kept warm, not too dry, yeah, the rubber holds up. So those tires I'm going to be running when I drive to Florida. Also, yes, the car is up in the air. We have a big list we're getting through. With the help of my friend Marley, so far we have new pads and shocks in the front. We're doing a trans service on it right now. There's an oil pan leak that I'm going to be fixing up soon, as well as giving it an oil change. I cleaned up all the wiring in here. I don't know if you guys remember, but I used the blower motor control for the heater for the fans. It didn't really work out. Well, I'll show you what that looks like. So here's the relay for the blower. Yeah, no bueno. So I hardwired it, and I made my own switch in the dash. I'll show you that. There was an existing hole from previous owners, so I just used some washers, but now hardwired fan switch. Also, since I had parked the car before winter, before the snow hit, the automatic trunk popper stopped working, so I just cut the switch off because I knew there was a wiring issue somewhere. And I found where the lead is, and I'll show you using my Lone Wolf 3000 here. I figured out that if I go ahead, run my own inline fuse, you hear that? That's a trunk popper. So now I'm just gonna steal off of a 12 volt that's got a decent fuse in it, run it into a new switch, and put it up in the dash. Also, the other night I came down into the shop because I left it unlocked, and I just had a curiosity moment. So I put my little 3-inch polishing pad on the drill, got a little polish, and a little interior cleaner. And look at this. You see all this disgusting old mold that won't clean off with anything? As it turns out, you can polish your dash. Yes, you can polish the dash to look like this. Brought the color back. Obviously there's some sun fading, nothing we can do about that, but all this stuff down here, that will all go away and come back looking real good. So another thing to be stoked about. New posi, bearings, seals, axle, shoes, shocks in the rear. Everything mechanical first, and then we'll get to the fun stuff that I know you guys want to see. The making it look nice, the tips and tricks, all the little secrets to polish up old chrome and dashes, apparently. That's the part that I really enjoy. That's the fun part. And I know when I get back from Florida and I do end up racing this thing or drifting this thing, that's going to really confuse tech, because we got some 3/8 fuel line over there that's got wires inside of it. But I did the 3/8 fuel line just because there's a bit of a pinch there underneath that diamond plate that I made in episode 1 of this deal. So just to keep the wires nice and safe, I just went ahead and put it in some nice fuel line. Looks pretty clean too. Oh boy. Well, wondering why these tires weren't holding air. I guess we found the problem. Yep, well, that's what you get for running tires from 1980 something. My buddy Brendan Morris helped me out sandblasting the ugliest of the wheels. So this, because it's really pitted, I'm going to be doing a run of slick sand on it. Slick sand is like a sprayable polyester filler. So yeah, I'll show you guys how that stuff works. Also, I took the other 3 wheels to the wand wash and they look spectacular. All the ugly brownness from these old tires is gone. And this one cleaned up pretty nice too. This is a factory spare tire from the Grand Prix itself. So this should be pretty easy to sand down and get nice and clean, ready for paint. So this is the only wheel that needs the slick sand treatment. The other wheels are actually pretty decent, but I can't just shoot it straight onto the steel. Yep, slick sand is not DTM, it is not direct to metal. I'm not even going to bother masking off this tire because it is a throwaway tire, as you can see. Might have gotten a few laps on the drift track out of it, but I'm really not worried about it. Plenty of tires. Plenty of tires. These wheels are ugly, and I do mean ugly. Eesh. Hopefully slick sand will fill that up. So slick sand, unlike most primers, which are, 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 or 4-to-1-to-1, etc. Slick sand is 100 parts slick sand, 2 parts hardener. So 2%. So I'm gonna, for an accurate measurement, because readings on the cup isn't gonna be that accurate, I'm gonna throw it on my scale and just drop a few drips in until it's right. But before I do that, there's a pro tip for you guys. I'll show you in a sec. So it was 310 grams of slick sand, so I just put in 7 grams of hardener. And slick sand needs induction time, so that's once it's in its mixed state, it needs some time to just sit there and it'll actually aerate itself and physically grow. So right now, however much I have in the pot, when I come back in 10-15 minutes, it's gonna look like there's been more liquid added to it, but not actually. Kind of neat. And that trick I was telling you about, I put a bunch of holes in the can on this side with a sharpened pick so that any extra paint doesn't sit in there and then make a huge mess. It actually falls through. Slick sand is super thick, so it won't go through until I actually put the lid on, but you get the point. Alright, slick sand looking very bubbly. Aerated, like I said, and yeah, looking pretty fat. Okay, throw it in a gun, spray that wheel, see what happens. Slick sand's cured up. Have a look at this. Here's the thing about slick sand. You can lay it on that thick and it'll sand smooth without burning through. try that with a primer. Can't do it. Though with slick sand, because it's so porous, you do have to prime it before you paint it. Okay, back in the shop from working outside. So I've done the back side of the wheel now, just finished in 180, and that's gonna be good enough. I'm just gonna rattle can this because the back side, no one's ever gonna see it, ever, except the tire guy. So the front of the wheel is gonna be nice. I'm gonna do all the fronts of the wheels in high build. The two front wheels are also gonna be in high build, in and out. But yeah, for the back wheels, this is good enough. Because when you're looking at the wheel, I mean, it's got that big old dish in it, so no one's gonna be crouched down to see anything through that little gap anyways. This is how we mask off wheels for paint. Little pieces of tape on the tire, all the way under the rim, and then use a fiber stick to press it down. And some of you may be saying, but Slick, haven't you seen the card trick where you stuff cards in there? And to that I say, where the card is touching the wheel, you're not gonna get any paint. Don't do that, be a professional. Well, the day has finally arrived. We are painting these things. They're all cleaned up. Just need a quick wipe down with some wax and grease remover. Front and back, these wheels are all ratchet strapped to the stand here, and I got enough room to get my SATA mini jet in that on that side. So yeah, I'm just mixing up some orange, but it's not just any orange, because this is a custom one of one color. I'll tell you all about it. I had this orange mixed up. I thought it was exactly what I wanted. Turned out to be way too red for my liking. So I got some yellow and mixed it in. So this is SlickWorks Cheese Orange. Yes, SlickWorks Cheese. Because it's a custom color, the world hasn't seen this color yet, I let my kids name it. So I said, what about SlickWorks Orange? And they said, SlickWorks Cheese Orange. So there we have it, SlickWorks Cheese. Well, wheels turned out pretty dang sweet, if I do say so myself. It just needs one more thing. Just got a little 180 grit on my DA sander here. Just gonna give the letters a little buzz, see if I can brighten up the white a little bit. And that, my friends, is what I'm talking about. But with little bits like this, where the black rubber has worn off, this was already like that before I sanded it down, but man, that white came out nice. Little bits like this, you can touch it with a Sharpie, but you gotta check the ink first, because Sharpies write purple, not black. I'll show you what I mean. So I don't have a Sharpie on me, but I have an, what is this? A Stanley fine tip and a Milwaukee pen. And I know one of these is black and one of these is purple, like a Sharpie. So the Milwaukee writes like a Sharpie. It looks black, but it's purple, right? And if you go with this guy here, what's this one, Stanley? Stanley, it looks black, and it is black. So yeah, you want to touch up your tires, get a permanent marker that actually writes black. Now, this tire is going to be a little different. As you can see, I already put a little touch up. So this was rubbing pretty hard, and you may be saying, Slick, is that curb rash? No, it's not. Well, white leather tires weren't always popular to run, so a lot of guys would flip them around and put them on the inside. And then this is from when the inside of the tire rubbed against the frame when the car was going around a corner. How do I know this? I have had an old car with fat tires that rub the frame before, so this is going to be a little bit tricky to sand out, but I think I could get it a little bit better. Gotta love the shape of bias plies, eh? That's a wrap for the wheels episode. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked it, hit the like button. Also, if you guys learned anything or found any value or entertainment out of it, hit that subscribe button because there's a lot more videos like this coming. But yeah, really happy with how the wheels turned out. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.